Hi Pisces. What I would like to talk about are 3 things that you have the opportunity to change now. It could be leading you to new opportunities. So it's kind of like a combined reading of things you can change, 3 opportunities that are coming in. Okay, and I have them by columns. So here's first, second, and third opportunities. So let's go ahead and get this started to see what came up. I went ahead and shuffled and laid out the cards. That way it'd save you a little bit of time. Now, I was only intending on taking 2 cards, but these 3 wanted to come out, and they are very related. Here you have a new romantic cycle begins. Right after that, bring love into the situation, and this energy is gaining momentum. And there are a few other cards here that have to do with love. So I do feel like love is going to be important during this time for you. And it can be romantic, but I don't feel it has to be. It can be family, friends, self, but this does specifically mention a romantic cycle. And here in your next column, you have the Knight of Cups, which can also talk about romance. And the energy is gaining momentum. So it could start out kind of small, doesn't have to, but it is building, definitely building, okay? And at the bottom of the deck from taking that, you have meditate and contemplate. So it's saying spend time with this, use your intuition, go within. And the tarot that came out with that is the moon. It can say a few things, but the biggest one that I feel is appropriate here is use your intuition, because you also have that at the bottom of the deck. And it can also talk about potentially there's things that you haven't been seeing. And when the time is right, they'll come to light. And it looks like the time is now. And with that came the Ace of Cups, which is a new beginning that's all about love. Where, see, the heart center is just radiating out in all directions. So this is a beautiful opportunity or a beautiful time where you can create change to bring the love into your life. So this first opportunity or first change is all about the love. And make for sure that you use your intuition during this time, because I feel like you're going to need it. You know, look past the obvious and into your heart, into your intuition. You will find your answers there, okay? Beautiful opportunity coming in. Now, your second one is building blocks and round. So what this is saying is you have been in some sort of a loop, a looping circle where things have been repeating. And this will be different for everybody. So take a look at your own situation to find out where that repeating pattern is. And it can have to do with love, but certainly doesn't have to. And the reason I'm saying it can is because here you have the Knight of Cups from the tarot that's clarifying this, okay? So if you have been in a repeat pattern of some kind, it is time to take a good look at it and create the change. So I think that these 2 opportunities or potential changes can be related, but they don't have to be, all right? But by you recognizing this pattern, and intuition will help you with that, but it might not even be needed. You might already know exactly what this repeat pattern is. A lot of us do that are in one. But either way, find the pattern, and it can be very subtle. It can be big, but it can be really tiny. Here, you have strength. Here, you have deep knowing. And I feel in this case, this deep knowing can also include using your intuition, meditating and contemplating. You have an owl with this. That means wisdom. So, in this respect, recognize your pattern. Use your deep knowing to help you see what this is and work your way through it so you can get out of that pattern. These patterns, unless they're of a very positive nature, are something that you don't want. You don't want to keep repeating things over and over again. And what came out with that is building blocks. This is talking about laying a solid foundation. So this is using your wisdom, your intuition, to help you get out of a repeat pattern so you can build what is long-lasting on a solid foundation. So that is a wonderful opportunity as well. And like I said, it can be related to this, and I'm saying that because of this card, mostly, but it does not have to be at all. Here, you have the Knight of Cups. This is taking action, and it is a slower moving energy, but this is going towards something that you love, something that you really want in your life. Now, on to the third opportunity or change. You have sadness here. So there has been something that has been creating sadness. And this is another potential energy where these could be linked. Because maybe being in this round and round cycle has created some sadness for you. It does not have to be that, okay? But there's something been going on where you feel unhappy for whatever reason. But what came out with it, which is wonderful, is flow. And this is talking about getting out of this sadness and going into a flow state. And when you're in the flow, everything goes smoother. It's like being out of the choppy waters and just being in this beautiful flow state. So, out with it is strength. You have the strength to pull yourself up out of the sadness and put yourself into a flow state. So, I guess a way to think of it is, you don't have to swim upstream, right? You'll be able to just flow with that river, which makes life much easier. And the card that came out with that is the Nine of Wands. And this has a few different things with it. One can be patience. So do have patience with yourself throughout all of this. But I'd say especially these two. Have patience. Go at a pace that will serve you. Don't feel like you have to rush through or go, like a turtle. Whatever is right for you. And you can see both of these colors in this image. So these are definitely related. Now, here, this can also talk about you standing guard. Having the patience to stand guard and be there on the ready at all times. And so for me, that would mean that there's some sort of reason why you feel like you need to be in a protective mode. And I would say it has to do with this sadness. And something that's coming to me is the possibility exists that you're seeing something that might not be the way it actually is, but it is creating some sadness. Maybe it's because you feel like you have to stand here and be protective and or defensive. So I would take a look at these other opportunities or changes and potentially blend some of this. Like here, you have wisdom. Use the wisdom over here to see what is creating the sadness. Use your intuition to see what's creating the sadness. But if a person is sad, not always, but oftentimes they know the reason, or at least part of the reason why. Go in, address that, remove that, and I think that's going to help you feel like you don't have to be on guard all the time. You will be able to step into this flow state. And at the bottom of the deck, you have the Queen of Swords. This is you being in your truth, looking forward, looking ahead, creating what it is that is your truth. All right, let's go ahead and get a clarifying card for the tarot for each column. And also to mention, which I already did, here, you have strength for here, this column. And I do feel like I said, mix and match as needed or desired. All right, let's get a card for your first column that's all about the love, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Okay. We have 2. 7 of Pentacles. Okay, this is again about having patience. You have a card over here, potentially about patience. Planting the seeds, tending to your garden, giving it the time and devotion it needs, and over time you will end up with this beautiful garden that's bloomed, fresh, ripe, wonderful. But you will need to have the patience to go through this process. In other words, it might not be an overnight thing, but have patience because it is going to come into fruition. And this would be the fruition, okay? The King of Pentacles, wonderful energy. These grapes are talking about abundance, and this is the energy of having the Midas touch. What you touch turns to gold. And it could also be this other that's coming into your life, right? Somebody that's coming in that is this perfect romantic match for you. Either way, it brings stability, care, love, abundance, all things that create this beautiful, stable environment. So work on this, have patience, because it's bringing in a wonderful situation for you, whether it be a romantic partner or this love you want to bring into your life, okay? Now this second column, second change, second opportunity, let's get a card for that. And this Knight of Cups is almost making me feel like this could be an extension of this. But, it can stand on its own. The card that came out is the Ace of Wands. Thank goodness. I'm so happy to see this, because this is saying you will be getting out of that loop, out of that repetitive cycle, and taking action, going for what you love, using your wisdom and creating the stable foundation. And the Ace of Wands is going for something that you truly desire, and you know how close love and desire are. So this is like getting the best of both worlds. Now over here, let's get a card for flow, sadness, and the 9 of Wands. So you have a few cards here about having patience and feeling like you have to stand on guard. And I do feel like that has to do with the sadness. Maybe it's trying to protect yourself. Okay, here, look at this. You have to love it. Each column has an ace. Here you have an Ace of Cups. Here you have an Ace of Cups. Now here is quite another story. This can be somebody doing something that could potentially be deceitful, not in your best interest. But on the positive side of things, this could be you needing to create a strategy. So this could be either or. It's totally up to whatever situation you're in. If there's somebody doing something not in your best interest, then that would be something to address. That can be causing the sadness and why you feel like you're needing to stand on guard. But it could also be about creating a strategy. Remember, like over here, I mentioned find out why you're in this round and round cycle, why you're in this loop. And creating a strategy, even if it's very simple, could be super beneficial for that. Okay, I'm going to put this right here. Now, this is having a new beginning that you're going to love. It's where you can relax this, get out of the sadness, and be in the flow. Definitely something to love about that. So in all three of these, you do have a new beginning, and each new beginning is either about love or desire. And they are, like I said, so closely related. Now here on this card, let's go ahead and get a clarification for that. Because I think it could be either or. You know, say if it's somebody doing something that's not in your best interest, that could be creating the sadness. All right. You have strength. And you also have strength here. So 2. It's a big deal. That means you are very strong and or need to be very strong during this time. And I feel like you are very strong. Wow, that went flying. Let me get that. 5 of Wands. This is maybe competition, conflict, something that you are trying to work through. And you have the 4 of Pentacles, which is talking about your stability, your security. So strength, conflict, competition, and security. Okay, I still say it could be either one, but what I'm getting from these is if it is strategy, you need to make for sure you add your strength, stay out of conflicting energies, and create a strategy that helps you bring in your security, okay? If it is about somebody doing you wrong, again, be strong. See it for what it is and take action and remove that so you can have your security. So what's coming to me about this, it could be different for each one of you because this is a general reading. But now at the bottom of the deck, you have the Star. So that makes me lean more towards the strategy because this is saying what you want is here for you. You just need to take that Star and pull it down to you. Believe and take action. Bring that Star in, okay? Now, quickly here, I did take some tea leaf cards. Here's one that says depression, anxiety, worry that someone is against you. This could easily fall into the round and round. It could fall into the 9 of Wands, the 7 of Swords, and the sadness, okay? But it could, all these could be smaller things unless they're really targeted in on the energy. That's the way I'm feeling about it. So this could just be like an irritant. It doesn't have to be a major thing, okay? But the depression, anxiety, worry that someone is against you, you know, really that could be the round and round sadness, 7 of Swords. And this could be all within you. It doesn't mean that it is that. It could be. Now here you have purse, pay attention to your finances, lobster, financial pinch. So there could be a time, or it could be in here, you know, that's bringing in the round and round sadness, etc., where you feel like finances are tight and you've got to figure out a way through that. And in each one of these, you have a wonderful way through, because each one of these has a brand new beginning with them, one that you love and desire. Now, these three popped out together. You have Jug, light-hearted, carefree time; Butterfly, a change for the better; and Tree, affairs with your family. So interpret these however you would like. So these popped out together for a very good reason, to tell you that everything is going to work out wonderfully. Let's go ahead and get a card from the angels to see what they would like to share. And this card that I'm pulling here is for all of these cards. But if you do have a question, please feel free to go ahead and ask it, because this can address that as well. Yes. Love it. This is great. So it looks like, yes, go through this. Enjoy these new beginnings, or it could be one new beautiful beginning filled with love and desire. And at the bottom, it says communicate clearly. And I feel like there is something definitely to this, because at the bottom of the deck, you have the Queen of Swords. And she is all about the truth. She definitely communicates clearly. Let's go ahead and get a charm for you. You have a dragonfly. And what I'm feeling about this dragonfly is a change for the better. That's just what's coming to me. Okay? So thank you so much. I hope this helps, and have a wonderful time. Much love. Bye.